I kind of thought of just getting my degree and then going back to my high school and teaching dance and all that kind of stuff. And that would have still been a really great life.
Yeah.
But being a part of this industry, there's been a love-hate relationship. But I can't imagine doing anything else. You know what I mean?
I feel you with that.
You have to really work and make the conscious effort to stay a part of this industry. You know what I mean?
That's a really good way of putting it, because with relationships, you always got to put in the work.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to always be roses and rainbows and all that shit. Like, it sucks sometimes. It really sucks. But if you love it enough, you'll have to sometimes change the way of your thinking or figure out different avenues to be a part of it still.
Yeah.
Without burning yourself out.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Because the messages I get, I'm like, oh, how do I become a professional dancer? I'm like, wait, you got to define what that looks like.
Yeah,
because there's so many ways to be a pro.
Right, and it doesn't necessarily, like, you're a professional dancer if you're dancing on cruise ships. You're a professional dancer if you're dancing behind J-Lo and Shakira in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
There's so many different avenues, and I feel like people stress themselves out and get to a point where they're just not happy anymore because they feel like there's only one definition of success in the dance industry.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's something I learned the hard way.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be honest, I have not achieved that kind of status, dancing in a Super Bowl or anything like that, and I'm not closing the gate to that possibility, but I'm also learning to be happy with still doing what I love to do and making money, making a living out of it, no matter what the job is, because I'm still doing what I love to do.
Yeah, I think they people get too attached at what it looks like over, at least it has to be this instead of being flexible what it can be.
Right, exactly.
Because, I mean, it's also a hard truth that some people have to swallow, is like, sometimes you're not gonna be a backup dancer,
right?
And so that's the part where you got to be okay with. And I'm talking to you guys now. You've got to be okay with it, because it's fact is, you might not have the look, because it's unfortunate.
Right.
That's what they're looking. The look is what they're looking for. Or for other things, you might not have the skill they have. But I think it comes back down to focusing on what you can control over what external goal you're trying to reach.
Right. And life is so crazy, because if you actually just learn to accept what is instead of just trying to force of what you want it to be, sometimes it turns out to be way more beautiful than you even could think of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it kind of forces you into your own path that is meant to be for your lifetime. You know what I mean? Some people aren't living in their purpose because they're trying to shove this idea into their life that is just not what it's meant to be.
Yeah, that's true.
And honestly, because the only reason why I'm saying this, like, I have an expertise in this, is because I did that for so long. Like, my goal was completely like, no, I'm going to be a backup dancer for, I just did like a reflex thing. But I'm going.
I'm keeping that.
All right, sounds good. But no, I was just like, no, I'm going to be a backup dancer for Usher. I'm going to be on So You Think You Dance. I'm going to, like, I just had all these goals. I'm like, this is what my life is, and I'm not going to stop until I do it. And I burnt myself out. Sure. There's been, in the past couple of years, I've had moments where I thought I hated dancing. That's not the case. I hated what I was trying to picture dancing to be now, instead of just remembering why I personally love to do it.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? So
I feel that.
I don't know where I was going with this statement, but we're here.
I forgot where I got this DM. It was this one young lady I know it's from the Midwest. I don't know which state, but she was talking to me, like, we were doing voice messages at that point, that she was going to take a leap, I think this year, to come just leave her family to come to LA to pursue her dance career. So I'm like, props. but I also I hope I gave her some reality of what to expect.
Yeah,
because
it's not gonna be all like
yeah,
kitties and puppies and rainbows and shit.
Because I think one of the questions is it normal to work at restaurants while you're pursuing your career?
Absolutely.
I'm like, fuck yes.
Absolutely.
It's part of that hustle.
I have 3 jobs right now.
So but yeah, it was.
And that is such an important thing to remember too, because so many people nowadays with social media and everything, they fake it till they make it, or they put up this facade of this life that they have, and nobody wants to give the reality hey, I work at a restaurant, I do housekeeping, I do this, that, just to make ends meet, but I'm doing it because I love dancing so much that I want to work this hard to stay in LA to pursue it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people just need to, I feel like people need to humble themselves a little bit and just be like, you know what? I'm working hard, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Because the fact is the path of an artist is just as chaotic as a process in creating.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It takes a while to for the moment inspiration to strike for some, or for some it might take a while for it to actually be at that level they want. But you just have to find a process that you're gonna love and be okay with. Because if you hate your process, then I think you should be doing something else.
Right.
Because it's accepting the fact that you're gonna be eating shit for a while.
Yeah.
And in the process, if you keep putting yourself out there and making time for yourself, not just to take care of yourself, but to focus on to improve your craft and to also network, because that's the faster way to get booked.
That is true.
So
that is true.
Yeah, these are just tidbits, but yeah, focus on your process.
And there isn't one route of success. Everyone's journey is such an individual thing. There's people that train so hard and make it so you just have to be undeniable, so people will put in that work. They'll network with whoever they need to network. They'll push themselves to the front of auditions. There's that type of route. There's also just making genuine connections with people because they'll remember you on a personal level too. That's kind of the route that I like, because I'm not very look at me at auditions. So sometimes auditions aren't the best way for me to get booked. So I really just make a point of genuinely connecting with people.
Yeah,
Hold for siren.
Okay.
All right, great.
Look at you, pro on set.
Got you. And even if you have other talents that aren't necessarily dance, those talents could still somehow manage to get you back to a dance job or something like that.